The fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Do you have a right to teach your children and raise your children up in the faith of your fathers? Do you have the right to teach your children the Bible? Do you have the right to teach your children about God and Jesus? Or does Penn Jillette have the right to say, there is no Jesus, there is no God? Does he have the right, and do you have the right, to raise your children in your personal faith? Now, this gets really tough when you're talking about faith like Westboro Baptist Church. But the Constitution really only matters when it is tough. But this is not a case that is tough. This is a story that sounds to me an awful lot like the earliest American story. Our founders, our founding fathers and sisters and brothers, they came here for religious freedom. They came here because the old world said, you have to be a member of this faith. You have to do it this way. Remember, the old world is where they were burning people at the stake if they thought that you could read the Bible and should be allowed to read the Bible in your own home. That's not your right to read the Bible. That's not your right to print the Bible in your own language. You'll go to the church, which was a combination of the church and the state, and you'll get all of the information you need from the church and the state. The Pilgrims, who were mocked by calling them Puritans, oh, you're one of those Puritans. The Pilgrims lost their lives, took any fortune that they might have had. They worked and worked. They were swindled. They were mocked. They were jailed. And yet they held their family together and they prayed to God, find one place that we can go that will be a refuge. Find one place that we can actually stand and just worship God. It is the American story. Now let me bring it to contemporary times. In Germany, they have this belief that you don't have a right to educate your children at home. You don't have a right to educate your children in the way you see fit based on God. It is the oldest battle. And it is a battle, unfortunately, that is now raging all around the world. We'll talk to you about Cyprus in a few minutes, where there is no reason why Cyprus did what they did over the weekend, where they've just seized between 7 and 10% of everyone's bank accounts and given it to the central banks. Everyone. They're sending a message, you don't own what you think you own. That's not your money. You come to us. We have control of it. In Germany, the same thing is being said about children, and it's happening all around the world. And in fact, it is beginning to happen here in our own country. You don't have a right. Well, there is a family called the Romaki family. They're German. They're evangelical Christians. They were homeschooling in Germany when the German government said, you can't do that. They said, but our religious dictate says we need to. You don't have that right. And if you don't stop, we'll take your family from you. Your children belong to the state, not you. And so they did what everyone since the Pilgrims have done. They fled to America. They came here in America. They currently live in rural Tennessee. They did it the right way. They have their visas. They came here and asked for political asylum, because if they're returned to Germany, the German state will take their children unless they dump them into the system where they are teaching them things about God that this